6:05 is your first pitch. It's the first of three against the Kansas City Royals tonight and tomorrow. Same game time, 6:05, and then they will finish that series on Thursday with an afternooner before the Guardians hit the road, play the Marlins in Miami this coming weekend. So 6:05 tonight on the Buzzard and on the iHeartRadio app. Your Cleveland Guardians. Coming off a pretty good run against the Nationals. I mean, they didn't sweep them, but they came close. So Kansas City, Cleveland tonight, 6:05 here on the Buzzard. I lived in Pittsburgh for many years. I was a Pittsburgh Pirates season ticket holder. They are my National League team, and I'll still kind of keep my ear to the ground occasionally of what's going on. But I had never heard of Tucupita Marcano. I had never heard of this guy. He was only batting .217, so he wasn't exactly setting the world on fire. But he plays for the Padres now. Well, actually, he doesn't. He doesn't play for the Padres anymore because he's been banned for life from baseball. Yeah. He's the 21st century Pete Rose here. This is a guy, not only was he gambling, he's really bad at it, too. This is a guy who he said that he would bet on Pirates games, not in ones that he was playing. They always say that, though. They always go, well, I wasn't betting. Of course, I guess they have the receipts, too. Betting apps. Mm-hmm. There's a trail now. Whereas back in the day, you just have a bookie and, well, his book. But they have ruled that this guy is permanently ineligible. A lot of people wondering how you could do so badly at the gambling part if you have inside information on things. I'm not quite sure what that would consist of. I still don't understand the whole if you are on a team and then you're gambling, like you don't know how everything is going to play out. You might have a couple of ideas. Somebody's hurt. If there's a particular umpire who's not going to be working that particular game. But this guy was betting a lot of these parlays, and he won 4% of the time. So he wasn't good at it, and it's gotten him.
Sounds like he's taking really big swings.
Big swings, bigger than the ones he was taking on the field. Uh-huh. Yeah. And so Tucupita Marcano's, I don't know how long he had been playing. I just remember he was playing on the Pirates for a bit, but I think he just joined the Padres not long ago.
And that's that, though.
Yeah, that's that.
I mean, now he can gamble all he wants.
Yep.
He'll get banned again.
A lot worse.
Yeah.
Than 4%.
Man, that's real bad.
So yeah, people were ratting him out. People who were working for these apps were telling the MLB that this dude's out there because they could see what was going on. That he was placing, in the span of a few months, he placed 387 bets through a legal sports book, and he would usually do parlays. And sometimes they would include Major League Baseball, sometimes they wouldn't. But he spent over $150,000 on baseball, and he lost most of them. He said that he did not appear in any of the games in which he placed bets, but he did not have. And so, of course, people simply can't figure out how you could do so poorly.
Well, it's because he's addicted to gambling, which is a real addiction. Alan, get ready to be called annoying by Mary.
Why is that?
Preparing for this.
Oh, she's had this. She's had this argument in her head. No, listen, the guy lost his gig. I don't know. Everybody knows this. And again, I don't know how you figure you're going to get away with it. There's a reason that this doesn't happen all that often. Unless it does. What the hell do I know? Maybe this is happening all the time. And the guys who get caught are being sloppy. I don't know. It seems like because the apps have made it so super easy to bet, I have no idea how you think that you're going to be under the radar with that one. Almost all of his Pirates bets were on which team would win the game, whether there would be more or less than a certain number of runs scored in the game. So he was not always betting on the Pirates. Ultimately, he lost all of his parlays involving the Pirates and only won 4% of his baseball bets overall.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He denies that any of the games that he put bets on were influenced or compromised or whatever. But
it doesn't matter if they're influenced or compromised. You know you can't bet on them.
Yeah, I just don't
so
understand
it's not like
where your
it's
head
gonna
is.
change anything. Like you get banned for betting on baseball if you play baseball.
Yeah. Maybe they just hate being left out, you know? I mean, Major League Baseball, you know, these betting apps, these companies, these are major sponsors of all these sports.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll take that ad money, but not let the
But
players
I think that's why
bet.
they also monitor the players so closely, because they
Yeah.
want that ad money, and they know that they can't keep doing this if players are using the apps and they're like covering for them.
They have to maintain
Right.
some kind of illusion of credibility, at least the illusion. But, yeah. So anyway, you're not alone if you've never heard of Tucupita Marcano. But who knows what his post-MLB situation will be. And I don't know how long he was in Major League Baseball.
Like, at least if he was good at gambling, he could be on a podcast or give tips. But 4%, no one's
I mean,
no
that's
one's
really
following him. Just bet whatever the opposite. Whatever he's gonna bet, you just go, I'm gonna do the other one.
Yeah.
And you'll probably be all right.
But
Yeah.
honestly, if he's playing these insane parlays, if he's doing a 12-leg parlay,
Yeah, that's
you know
just
what
stupid.
I mean?
Yeah.
Then you're not going to win those anyway.
Right.
So he might not just be betting and over-under on points. You know what I mean?
Right,
That could be why his percentage is so low.
It sounds like he wants the big hit because he's
So far in the hole.
so far in the hole because
It's
say it with
an
me.
addiction.
It's an addiction.
Well, here's the thing, too. What jams these guys up is when, like this guy was, when you're on the IL and you got a lot of time on your hands and you're sitting there and you're not making great decisions. So
But you are still making a good living.
Yeah, you
And-
are. I know. That's how you get the money to gamble.
Mhm.
Right. So gamble on, because they just can't gamble on baseball, right? And they can't gamble in the facility. But if they gamble on
He's allowed to gamble on
WNBA
like football.
or horses, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
I think they're just not allowed to gamble on the sport they play in.
Yeah, because they said that he spent $150,000 on bets, $87,000 of which was on baseball. So it wasn't all on baseball. He's a young guy. He's 24. The Padres signed him about 8 years ago, and they put him in, whatever their
If
farm
he's only
teams
24,
were.
They signed him when he was 16.
Yeah, that
24.
happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yep.
With
And-
baseball, because then they come up through the farm system.
Yeah, and then they traded him to Pittsburgh, and then they grabbed him again. But he was on the injured list, so he wasn't playing, and now he's banned for life. He is from, he's named after his hometown? What? He's from Tucupita, Venezuela, so they named him that. It'd be like Maria Santora on stage tonight in New York City.
It is me.
Medina Squire over here. Yeah. I saw you're doing a show with Nick Griffin tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're
I
on
love
at
that guy.
New York Comedy Club.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, he's nice. We worked together forever ago at Hilarities. But yeah, he's a good dude.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
So listen up, kids. If you have any aspirations of getting into professional sports, but you also have the disease of gambling, just tread lightly. Make sure that you're focusing your efforts in the right spots and not getting yourselves into trouble, because you certainly don't want to go the way of Tucupita Marcano at 24 years old, washed up. I don't know.
Okay, here's my question, though. Sports teams have to have some sort of help in addiction services, right? Like if someone were a drunk, wouldn't they send them to rehab?
Oh, they've got little legalese at the end of their commercials, but I don't know do they have, you mean the teams themselves?
Like the league, is there not like benefits or help that they can offer to these people?
Don't know.
I think so, but I mean, you have to reach out. They don't know you have the problem if you don't tell them.
I guess that's true.
I just don't know why this guy, a lot of people are pointing out a very good point of this, is that you literally normally just have to bet against the Pittsburgh Pirates and you're going to win.
Yeah.
You're going to win.
Just slow and
But that's
steady.
not gonna pay
Slow
off.
and steady.
No, that's not what gambling is. When you have a problem with it, you don't want to play slow and steady. That's not
Right.
exciting.
No, but what I'm saying is gamblers also love the notion of a lock. And there is, in most seasons, there's no better lock than betting against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Those buccos, boy, you chop the legs out from under them. Alan, you could directly influence the game if you were gambling by intentionally making errors, injuring an opponent. Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, absolutely, and that's why they don't want people doing it. But you can't plan for every permutation of that. If you're like, oh God, I gambled on this game, I got to make sure I hurt that other guy. You're not going to do that. There's no way to make sure that happens. The guy's a shortstop. What, he's going to bang into the second?
He wasn't betting on the games he was playing in, right?
Well, he said that, but I think they always say that. Of course, they could probably, I'm sure they could determine
They
that.
could tell, yeah.
Yeah. And also, if you figure if you're a guy on a current roster in any team, it just brings it into clearer focus. So you have I wonder if all of the MLB organizations now, send these emails out. They're like, hey, if anybody, wink, wink, hey, if anybody is on those betting apps, just make sure that you're not doing anything untoward, anything that would, quote, embarrass the organization. That's always the language that you'll get in corporate emails. Anything that might embarrass the organization or put them into a position to be liable for any problems. I saw they're rebooting American Gladiators over on Prime Video.
Nice. I wanted to stick this time because they tried this about 10 years ago and it did not, or maybe 12, 13 years ago. It was a while ago. And it did not, didn't stick real good.
Yeah, I remember that. NBC tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The original ran from 89 to 96.
Great documentary about it, too, on Netflix.
Oh, so good. What's it, Muscles and Mayhem?
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch American Gladiators, but my wife watched it. She's a little bit behind me. And we watched, it was over Christmas or something. It's been up there for a minute, I think since last summer. It's on Netflix. It's called Muscles and Mayhem. And I didn't know anything other than the broad strokes of American Gladiators. Like, I understood what it was and their place in kind of pop culture, but I never watched it. But that documentary's awesome. It's so entertaining. And people who were like super diehard American Gladiator fans were always complaining that they didn't have, people in the documentary that should have been. I don't know who any of those people are. It was just a fascinating look at these people who were basically just kind of used up until they weren't useful anymore and then kind of tossed aside. As is usually the case in any, situation where you're just in there because you're a physical specimen. So they're rebooting American Gladiators on Prime Video.
Young.
What's that?
I'm a little too young for that.
Yeah, we watched that show every Saturday. That was like my oldest brother was the one that was in charge of the remote. So we kind of we had to watch whatever he wanted to watch, and he liked American Gladiator. So we're like, all right, we'll watch it. And it was fun. It was a fun show to watch. It was like the only sports that he liked. So, or the closest thing to a sport that he liked.
And it was syndicated?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a network show, right? Like USA would run it or something like that?
I think USA would run it, and it would be late night. It would be on at like 10:30 or 11:30 on Fridays or Saturdays. And
so not only did you get to watch a show, but you're like staying up late.
Yeah, it was like our stay up late show.
There's a double whammy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and TNT.
And Larry Zonka was the announcer. So I was
really?
Like, Larry Zonka's cool. He was on the Dolphins team that didn't lose a game. Sweet.
Blaze, Ice Baby, Thunder. These pituitary cases running out. That's what was so funny about the documentary is like to a person, they were like, I mean, we didn't use steroids or anything. And you're like, come on, bro. They probably provided them for you at the craft service table. What are you talking about? So NBC tried it 15 years ago, and just a few months ago, the BBC rebooted. Hello. I don't know if they're
British Gladiators.
British Gladiators. Hello.
I'm very strong.
Yeah. Look at this. I pick up me mum like this. I kick you right in your crumpets,
Bobby
eh?
Bollocks.
Bobby Bollocks. Yeah, so, listen. They're always looking for new content. Why not go back to the well one more time? So they're doing open calls for this, I think. So if any of you in our audience, either local or otherwise, are, in that kind of shape, they're casting it now.
You've been going to the gym eating all that protein?
Well, I'm not all jacked up like these people.
You
Come
got
on.
time. Get jacked
I look
up.
like a toothpick.
Get jacked up.
Do you have what it takes? Is there the big casting thing? American Gladiators Casting at gmail.com.
Perfect.
Yeah. You don't even have a corporate email for them.
What would your gladiator name be? You become a...
My gladiator name. I mean, what were the what's one that wasn't taken? Gladiator name. Oh no, man.
AC Bumflexer.
Yeah.
It's got to be like one word.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, like squat thrust or something like that. But it's got to be like laser,
Yeah,
or
it's gotta be
Iceman,
something
or
powerful,
Zap. It's got to be like Top
Yeah.
Gun names.
Yeah.
Power Volt. I don't know.
Power Volt.
I don't know.
Slade.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Ugh.
We're looking for real life superheroes and physical phenoms to join our recurring cast and battle contenders throughout the season, because wasn't part of that documentary that like there was a season where real people were fighting them or something? Wasn't that or was that the whole show?
That's the whole show.
Okay. They weren't just fighting each other.
The gladiator. You are a regular person is a contestant against the gladiators.
I see.
Fist fight them?
No, they don't fist fight them. They have different events that they do.
Oh.
Where
They fight with the giant Q-tips.
There's like
and
jousting.
yeah.
That's the giant Q-tips. There's Powerball, which is like kind of like a football kind of game.
Not that kind of Powerball, Mary.
Like a football rugby-ish kind of game. Then there's like the ones where they put them in the big, what do they call it? But they put them in like a big cage.
The metal balls
and
that
it
were
rolls
rolling around.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of dumb stuff that they make them do.
But there were civilians that like did really well in that show, right?
Yeah. And they like kind of recruit people that they knew were athletic and would be good. But they had these giant casting calls that tons of people would show up for.
Yeah.
All right. So, Alan, you're going to be, I think, voltage or something. AC. Let's see. AC, electricity, radio.
AC is not electricity.
AC/DC. That's a.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mary.
He's
Please.
making a jump there.
I know. Well, that's ADHD.
Yeah, right.
So something. What's your middle name? Brandon.
You can't do anything with that. There's an American Gladiator name generator.
Oh,
Oh, there
okay.
you
There we
go.
go.
I work these
That's
dumb
easier.
questions. What is your deepest desire? What?
Tell us.
I don't
Lenny
know.
Kravitz.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. What is your strongest quality? What does this have to do with anything? Just
You're
give
gonna
me
pick
a
the perfect
dumb
name for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll just randomly click these, and then it'll give me a name. Oh, God. How many of these? Male. Ready? My name is Scab. Come on, man.
Oh, that was a lot. That's
Scab.
good. They
That's
could
so
totally
bad.
A lot of that for Jesus.
figure that out for you.
Scab.
Okay.
You're a dried
Some peop-
wound.
Some people eat those. Yeah. I'm going to eat you alive. Yeah, apparently the Gladiators
Oh,
rebooted.
I'll just be Booger.
Yep.
I can be Booger 1, Mary can be Booger 2.
Here comes
Tag team.
Booger.
The Booger Bros or Booger Bunch.
The Gladiators reboot in England, that BBC show, is a huge hit for them. One of the most successful entertainment launches in almost a decade for the BBC. Well, yeah, there's only so many, toothless detective shows you can have over there on the BBC. You throw some Gladiators up there. Well, anyway.
If they do the show right, it's a really entertaining, fun, like turn off your brain kind of entertainment.
Well, maybe I'll watch the reboot. See, I like shows like during COVID, we watched a lot of Wipeout.
Yeah, Wipeout's
So
fun.
Wipeout's
funny.
fun. Yeah.
My God, that my love for people falling down started with Wipeout.
Right.
I really do believe that. I mean, probably America's Funniest Home Videos back in the day.
You watched MXC though, right or no?
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, that was the most extreme elimination challenge where it
No,
was the Japanese game show and then they did like a American voiceover on it. And it's a lot of the Wipeout style. It preceded the show Wipeout, but it's a lot of those games. But instead of them falling into like a clean pool. They're just falling into giant mud puddles, and it's
Oh, gross.
so funny though.
Yeah, because all the American shows rip off those Japanese shows like that, right? Like Wipeout was a big rip off of those Japanese shows.
Yeah, and then like American Ninja Warrior is
Right.
just one of those. You know, Ninja Warrior was a really popular show in Japan, and
Because if it's somebody, I don't want to watch videos of people like getting hurt.
right.
But on Wipeout, everything's padded. So
Yeah.
you go,
Yeah.
oh, that looks like it sucks, but
Yeah.
they're not bloody, and you know.
So funny.
Exactly. And the same thing with MXC, where it's like they're falling into mud, but it's like it's soft and they're fine, and then like everything's covered in foam rubber, but they'll like throw like big boulders down
Yeah.
a ramp, and you just got to try and get up a hill while these foam rubber boulders, they're like styrofoam boulders, knock you down, and it's
Sure.
very fun.
It's like Land of the Lost special effects.
Yeah.
Alan, according to one listener, your gladiator name should be Pansy. I mean,
Are you a pansy, Alan?
it's better than Scab.
Mhm.
I'll
Better
take
than
it.
Scab.
All right, I got a break here. You want to send a text 35192. Watch live if you want at AlanCoxShow.com and listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio